All right, guys, today we're going to look at a mic shootout session. All right, guys, so we created this session here to be a mic shootout session. So if you look at the name of it, it's actually called Mic Test. And I did this with some clients, and I'll put a link to their stuff in the description below for you guys. But basically, we're working on their next EP, and we're trying to be very purposeful about what microphones we choose, how we place them, what we're recording, where we're recording, all the pre-production stuff. So we've been trying to figure that out very, very carefully. So in this session, this example, what we were doing is we were looking at microphones for guitar and for voice. And you'll notice as we go through this session, we have a whole collection of microphones here. So this is kind of like all the ones that we wanted to try out for, I forget exactly what it was for, but we'll hear it here in a moment. And then we narrowed it down to a couple for the guitar, I believe, here, and then a few for the voice here. So basically what we did is we tried to keep everything constant except for the microphone. So placement, preamp, I used my Great River MP2NV preamp for everything in this session. We tried to keep, I don't know if I mentioned the way that we actually set up the microphone. So location of the microphone, the actual mic placement, we tried to keep that fairly constant. Although in some of these we did do two microphones at once. So they were kind of right next to each other, not exactly placed in the same spot, but very, very close. It was kind of the idea. So that's kind of how we structured this. The idea was to keep almost everything constant that we could, except for the microphone, so that we could really hear and understand the differences between the microphones so that we could then choose which ones we wanted to do. So we didn't try every single microphone that I have for each of these. Obviously, we kind of looked through the list of what I have in my studio. By the way, that's in the description as well. I do have a gear list online, but the basic idea is we looked at all the microphones that I have and kind of did some guesswork, but we're like, if we were at all interested in hearing it on either guitar or vocals, then we put it up and we did it. We recorded it in this session. The other thing is once we got past this initial shootout, we did do selections from each song. So this all is the same song here with different microphones. Same thing here, same thing here. She played, a little bit of the chorus, a little bit of the verse. They kind of decided what she wanted to play. But the idea is that it's constant between all the microphones. So that's another thing. So I'm going to do Command equals to switch to the mix window here, and we can kind of look at what microphones we tried. So basically, I believe all of these were microphones that we tested on the guitar. So these are all guitar tracks, I believe. So we tried out the M160. That's one of my newer ribbon microphones. We tested out the e906. That one's used on guitars all the time. A lot of times it's used on like amps and stuff, but it was an acoustic guitar that we were doing for this and we kind of wanted to hear it. So we threw it on. We have the American ribbon microphone that I have that I got off Sylvia Massey's shop. We tried the 421. We tried the Spirit microphone. So that's the Aston microphone Spirit. We tried the Re-20, the SM7, which is this microphone that I'm talking into right now. And then we tried a 57 and a 58 just for fun. I don't know, for fun, to be a little extra about it. And then we narrowed it down to the 160 and the 906, and that's what we liked. So those are the two that we ended up picking. I don't think we were super surprised by that. And I forget if we decided to do both or just do one of them for the final EP, but I have it written down somewhere. And then we had these vocal mics that we tried. So again, we have the SM7B, which is the microphone I'm talking into right now. We tried the M160. We tried the Lewitt microphone that I have, which is the 540 Sub-Zero. That's the 540S. This one's really great for picking up a lot of detail, and we want to have more of a kind of live, intimate feeling for this EP. So this might be one of the choices. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we tried the Spirit again on vocals. So Aston microphone Spirit. And then what was this? I duplicated the Spirit. And that was part of, let's see. Oh yeah. So what I did is I duplicated it and then we did some EQ work on it while we were trying to decide. Ultimately, it came down to between the Spirit and the Lewitt. A couple of us liked the Lewitt better because it kind of matches the sound that we're going for better. But then the singer liked the Spirit on her voice better. So we were kind of trying bring some elements from the Spirit into the Lewitt and vice versa to see if we could arrive at a happy medium. We decided to just wait on it, so we haven't made a final decision yet, but that's what these are. So with that said, I'm just going to go through and play all this stuff, and what I'm going to do is during the editing phase, I'm going to put some text up on the screen so you can see what you're listening to as you go along, and I'm not going to stop and talk between them. I'm just going to play them for you guys, and then we'll regroup after I play them, I guess, and maybe talk a little bit about it. So let's do this. I'll start at the top and go down. I just did Option Shift to unmute all of those, so now they're only soft muted. All right, so those were the initial guitar microphones. And then what I believe we decided, looking at my notes now, so I can show you my notes actually. So I started out making this list of the microphones that we wanted to try out. And then what I did is I wrote for each one. So each rectangle here is a microphone. And so what I did is I wrote down the preamp settings for each one that we were using and whether or not I used the cloud lifter. So a lot of these I did use the cloud lifter. So the M160, I used the cloud lifter. The SM7, I use the cloud lifter. The American, I use the cloud lifter. The Re-20, I used, let's see, did I? Cloud lifter, yep. I think I used it for the, let's see. I did not use it for the Spirit because that's a condenser microphone. The 421, it looks like I did use the cloud lifter. I did not use it for the 906, the 58 and 57. We just used as is. So let's see. So yeah, that's what my notes look like for something like this. If you guys are curious, it's kind of messy and chaotic, but that's what I did. And then I circled the ones that we wanted to keep, right? So the M160 and then the e906 are the ones that we decided to keep. And I believe what we did is we decided to use those together. So that's why, you know, when we decided to keep them, that's why I color coded these two tracks purple, I believe. And then we decided to actually record them together so we could hear them used in conjunction with each other at the same exact time. So I'll play both of these at once for you guys. I believe that's also why this is trimmed in, because I think I adjusted the phase after the fact. Yeah, so it looks like I've adjusted phase for the most part. So what I did is I trimmed this in so I could move it back and forth without any issues. And then I would have, oh no, clicked, computer's freezing, clicked and highlighted both and moved them at the same time. So here's what we decided to keep, the M160 and the 906. And then each of these markers here they represent a song on the EP. So we did bits and pieces from each song. So let me play a little bit of that for you guys. And I'll play more of these later. So then we moved on to the vocals. So the idea here, let's see. Oh yeah, so what we did is we did each of the vocal mics that we wanted to try. So SM7B, M160, Lewitt, Spirit, and then this is just a duplicate, so we can ignore that. But we did each of those for the first song, and then we decided it was down to between the Lewitt and the Spirit. And so we did the bits and pieces from all 4 songs with both the Lewitt and the Spirit mic. I'll just make this small to get it out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it in context because that's how we did it. We listened to it in context with the guitar because, you know, things sound different in isolation than with the rest of whatever you're doing. So we decided to do this in context, and I'll just play each one for you.
Sharpens a blade on the cover of its song, says you've been led astray. But I'm here to save you from what you've become. Rest easy, mothers and daughters. The cover of its song says you've been led astray. But I'm here to save you from what you've become. Rest easy, mothers and daughters. Sharpens a blade on the cover of its song, says you've been led astray. But I'm here to save you from what you become. Rest easy, mothers and daughters. Sharpens a blade on the curve of a tongue, says you've been led astray. But I'm here to save you from what you've become. Rest easy, mothers and daughters.
So that's it. We still haven't really decided which vocal mic to use. Myself and one of the other band members likes the Lewitt because we want that intimate, like kind of noisy, live, almost live feel to the album. So we do want a lot of the like background noises, noises that make it almost sound like you're in a coffee shop type of thing. I don't know if that's how they'd word it, but that's kind of the vibe that we're thinking of for this album. We're also thinking of doing the opposite thing that we did last time and just having like one microphone per thing, maybe two, but very simple, minimal setup and just really obsess over placement and stuff like that. Last time we did more of like a maximal type of thing. We set up like 1 million microphones for each thing. The singer likes the Spirit better on her voice. I totally get why she likes that. It's got a little bit more power, especially in like those mid to low frequencies. And I just think that that's going to kind of get drowned out anyway by the other instruments, So that's what we were doing here is we were trying to kind of boost some frequencies to make it a little bit more like the Spirit to see if we could get like a happy medium, but we haven't made a decision yet. And I mean, honestly, the voice is the feature thing for this album. So we very well might end up going with the Spirit. I don't know. They're both great mics. They're both great choices, I think. So, either way, it's going to be fun, I think. And then I'll play a little bit of the other songs so you can kind of hear the Spirit versus the Lewitt and what we were kind of thinking about here. So I'll just go ahead and play that.
The door, the quiet falls as a look in her eye that she's taking us all down with her. Her hatchet swings, head for cover as she starts to sing. Every day you wake up hungry and alone, desperate for meaning on this planet we call home. Look in her eye that she's taking us all down with her. Her hatchet swings, head for cover as she starts to sing. Every day you wake up hungry and alone, desperate for meaning on this planet we call home. Photo album is filled with destruction in the name of the Lord. And your reckless devotion, I must commend you. You stuck to your guns, and I could tell you I miss you, but that isn't the issue. I get the feeling that you're running away from something more. So while you're out there spreading your word, just know the door's always open. Signed, your ghost of a husband. Photo album is filled with destruction in the name of the Lord. And your reckless devotion, I must commend you. You stuck to your guns, and I could tell you I miss you, but that isn't the issue. I get the feeling that you're running away from something more. So while you're out there spreading your word, just know the door's always open. Signed, your ghost of a husband. She's finally found her place beneath his shelter. And when he whispers in her ear, it's clear what she must do. She's putting on her face, her hatchet on her waist. Oh, she's finally found her place beneath his shelter. And when he whispers in her ear, it's clear what she must do. She's putting on her face, her hatchet on her waist. It's been a lonely life.
Anyway, so that's that. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you like this type of video. Let me know in the comments below. And let me know what microphone you guys would go with if you were faced with this decision, because we'll be making this decision pretty soon. I think we want to just do one microphone for the vocals. So let me know what you think in the comments below and give the artist some love. It's the same album that was mentioned in the last video, if you saw the video on guitar pedals. So it's Evan Diamond in the Library, and this EP is going to be coming out at some point, so check that out. I'll put a link to their previous one in the description below. Show her some love, show them some love. It's not easy to share works in progress like this. As you can tell, these were just one-off performances. We didn't really focus on the performance. So I think it's really cool of Evan and everyone in this group to let me share something that's so early in the production phase. So make sure you show them some love online using their links in the description. And that's it. I hope you liked the video. You know, all the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'd appreciate all of that stuff. I have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/CatoNoise. Please feel free to check that out. And other than that, I come out with new videos every Wednesday. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, I'm going to stop this before I lose everything.